Hello, we're back again. This is episode 20. So welcome. I'm glad you came. We're going to go ahead and check out this project. We were pretty close to wrapping it on the last one. But I went back and I went through some of the old footage because we did have a crash before. And I went ahead and just mimicked some of the stuff that was lost in the crash. I went way too long without saving, so there was a lot of reviewing, but we kind of narrowed it down to like two different points. There was a little bit of playing with the mix of the bass, and there's a little bit of messing around with some of the drums. So let's go ahead and hop into the project and we'll take a look at that. So let's go to our mixer, and I can even move the mixer up. Oops. I can even move the mixer up to the main screen. There we go. So really it came down to this auxiliary clap was the biggest difference, I would say. And then there was just a little bit of extra volume on the snare. So let's go ahead and play the drum bus. And we'll take it, let's take it like right here. Or you know what, the bridge would be better for this. Now I want it. So we're looking at the chorus here. There's the limiter. It was a pretty simple move. We're just basically taking out some of the headroom so the snare can clear through. That's what was going on with that one. Nothing too crazy. This auxiliary clap was a little bit more in depth. So what we do with that is a replica XT, and this is just essentially a delay that ping pongs, super low mix, super low feedback. You can already kind of hear it. Just a little tail on it. Then we did a supercharger GT. This is for saturation, compression. You can already hear how much more pronounced it is with the supercharger GT. So quite a bit of saturation, a decent amount of compression for what it is. Then just some warmth on like the dial. I'm thinking that just takes off some of the low and the high. But that's all that was really going on there. And then we did a reverb. And I just matched exactly what we had before. It was small reverb, dark glue. And we're just doing it pretty heavy, honestly, for the mix. But we can already hear just much more of a robust sound. It's going to have a lot more like girth to that, especially paired with the snare. Whereas that snares are just that hit, this is giving a little bit more openness to it. And then we did 1176 compressor, and basically this is, see, pretty fast attack, a little bit of a slower than super fast release. Like 2 decibels of gain reduction. You can kind of hear how it gives a little bit more of a snap. So that was what was missing from our auxiliary clap. And we can hop into the bass. We've played with it a lot since we did the EQ on the Ozone and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and turn on our mastering chain here. And we really kind of just deliberated between the high and the low. I don't feel like we need to do too much adjustment on that. I feel like we're at a pretty good level. Bass low. Let's put it with the drums. And then the bass high. And we've dialed this back in the mastering and in kind of getting that together. I think it was just generally to give it a little bit more control on the master. Now, as far as going in and adjusting anything, the only notes I had on the mastering was I felt like something in the acoustic guitar is getting boosted too much, and it just has a little bit of something odd going on. That was kind of irking me. And then I also felt like maybe it was the final EQing with Ozone, but there was a little bit of depth lost, I feel like, and I think that's something due to just the EQ. But we're going to go ahead and hop into the acoustic bus. And we're going to see if we can find something funny in here. Something in this range. I could add that just for the sake of why not. I don't feel like it's gonna hurt anything. What a pretty part. Probably lose a little bit of this as well. Before, after, real minimal. So this is without any additional EQ from Ozone. Here's like 100%, this is where it thinks it should be. This is 200%, this is like an exaggeration to give you an idea. Something like something in there would do. We're going to bring up the threshold just a little bit here. I like to see the LUFS around like 11. I like that to be like the kind of where it's gonna rest. You know, it's okay if it bounces in and out a little bit, but I want like the loudest parts to be about there. And of course, it's such an easy thing to set. So like, I could take the this right here. We could put it on you know, the reference track, and we could just kind of see where it lines up as well. Like I said, I don't want to play the reference on video just because I don't want any copyright issues. But I mean, that is like a very realistic like step to make, just kind of make sure it all matches. And if it is like outrageously loud, then that's something we can work with. We could dial it back from there, obviously to taste. But that's pretty much all I had for you on this one. This one's kind of a short one. We're looking at about 10 minutes. But this is essentially the finished track. Let's go ahead and play it back and just see if there's anything standing out, anything odd to us. And maybe we could do a quick before and after with that auxiliary clap that I have. I think in the bridge it really stands out. And while we're there, why not save? And then let's go ahead and unpin this so our video track will appear on top. feel like those drums sound like they're pumping now. I also felt like that bass stood out decently on its own for that little intro verse section. I feel like the mix on that is a little high for that little click. Let's jump back in. Let's play with that a little bit further. We can go move this back over here. So I'm getting a little bit too much of this. Let's just dial back the feedback and the mix. Now you can hear it, but it's not overwhelming. I don't want it to feel like two strikes. I want it to feel like the reverberation of the first strike. Keep in mind, that's still running through the rest of this. Alright, back to the programming. Sorry, I always have to make a change. Video's glitching. We'll give it another save because I'm extra paranoid about that now. All right. I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like that is a song. That is a track. I feel like it does the job. I think it covers the bases. It's a little bit Western with the acoustic part, but I think we dealt with that just fine. It definitely is a blend of genres. That bridge came out very electronic. Looks like some spacey guitars on it. I was not expecting that. Let's jump back to that. Let's jump into where the verse comes in with the bass. I'm pretty happy with that. Tone-wise, it's definitely from my metal roots, you know, from being a kid and wanting a big nasty bass tone. So I still kind of lean on that, and I'm pretty happy with the way that one came out. I'm not too upset about that. The drums also is very interesting, like to hear the before and after of just all the drum effects. Like, let's take some of this stuff off. Might as well just pull these down if I'm going to be messing with these and not the sends. My goodness, it's so much clicking, so much clicking. I know that's not even all of it, but that's where we started with this. Well, so this is the before. And then we'll even start at the kick here. So we have EQ on the kick, compression on the kick. We have a parallel kick, EQ, compression. You can already hear it. It's punching so much clearer through there. Here's the snare, EQ, compression, and a little bit of limiting. Hi-hat, EQ, hi-hat, compression. Tom bus, compression, and the EQ on all toms. I don't think it's going to make a difference right at this moment. And of course, let's pin this so we can see what we're working with. Overhead, straight, street. That's a big difference. EQ, a lot of gain was put in through the compressor there for sure. And then we're looking at the room, EQ, compression, the room master. Then we have the auxiliary. So this is the auxiliary. Replica, supercharger, reverb, compression. We also left the EQ on there. And then we're leaving the bridge. And let's go ahead and look at the bus. Compression, saturation, EQ. World of a difference. So I think we're gonna go ahead and call it good on this one. I don't think we really need to go and mess with it a ton more. If anyone has any suggestions, of course, you know, if you have like an idea or you think like something should happen somewhere, I'm happy to do it. If you want me to harmonize, we'll go and we'll harmonize all day. We'll make it full chords singing over each other. I'm pretty happy with where this is, and I think this is going to serve the project just fine. So for this one, the next step would be to go into the video and kind of just retweak the video, get like a final cut of that over the new music. But it really won't be that different, and the track is what the track is. We're a composition channel here. You know, music is my forte, not video editing. I'm just doing that as a favor. But I hope you enjoyed the process. This, like I said, this is like episode 20, and we've done 2 songs. So then I would say an average is an hour, maybe an hour 20, hour 30 per session. I'm not really sure exactly what the average is, but so we spent a fair amount of time, and I would say like I averaged like 12 hours to could do from nothing to having a complete track. Sometimes it goes a little over, sometimes it gets a little less. Just depends on the project. So that does track pretty well, and I'm still trying to figure out better ways to do this. So like something I'm considering for the recent future. Maybe we'll do like a Twitch stream. Maybe we'll do like a stream. I notice those really don't get views. I just don't think they get noticed. So maybe we'll Twitch stream. I'll upload the stream that we captured as like a YouTube video for people to go through, and then maybe I'll even do some shorts just to show some like comparison before and after. I mean, by no means am I the do I know everything, and I'm really just doing my best with what I can hear. But if anyone has anything to gain from it, I mean, obviously I'm happy to share. So I'm thinking like maybe some shorts, just some before and after stuff, and maybe someone will have a good tip and they'll send something in that I haven't considered. But yeah, I appreciate anyone who's been watching, and this is a super short one today. This is probably the shortest I've ever done. But we're really just wrapping this up, and I was just going through and just seeing what was missed with that crash, and I don't know. I was thinking about maybe I should do a new saving system where instead of clicking just save, I'll do like a save as every single time and do a point something. But I'm afraid that might make me so I don't just make it a natural habit. I also do have an auto save. I probably could have pulled up the auto save. Once I reviewed the footage, I was like, oh, like it had been like 10 minutes of reviewing, and I probably had a decent auto save in the file. But at the time, it just felt like there were so many changes that I would be pulling an incomplete autosave. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for watching, and I will be back tomorrow. We have to figure out what we want to do. What kind of track do we want to make here? So we'll figure it out, and we'll go ahead and take it from there. Peace.